Okay, welcome back everyone. It is now October 25th of 2023, and not only are we getting closer to South Park joining the Panderverse, which by the way, debuts on Paramount Plus on October 27th. It's going to do an excellent job by Trey Parker and Matt Stone about mocking the current status of Hollywood and specifically taking multiple jabs at Disney's attempts and their crazy agendas that have just ruined entertainment as we know it. Now, we know that there's a lot of things also happening on the other side of the spectrum within Hollywood with the whole Jada Pinkett Smith, Chris Rock, and Will Smith drama, and exactly what kind of ramifications have actually transpired ever since Jada Pinkett Smith has been promoting her new book, Worthy, which is also spewing more drama related to Will Smith, and it's not making anything easier for Chris Rock and Will Smith to just move on and forget about all of this nonsense. Now, there's been a lot of things happening with Jada Pinkett, going on multiple talk shows, going on multiple podcasts and radio shows, promoting her new book that has only been pretty much adding fuel to the fire, right? This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Jada Pinkett Smith is that we know that she is a narcissist, she is a pathological liar, she really has no care in the world about any kind of problems that she causes. She never takes control over her own actions or even owns up to her own mistakes. Nothing of that will ever be done by Jada Pinkett Smith. But one thing about Will Smith is that he is meeting all of the consequences, not just due to the slap situation at the Oscars, but also due to the ongoing Jada Pinkett Smith revelations that is only tarnishing the Smith name even further, and why it recently led to multiple Hollywood studios that were actually riding on the fence, trying hard to make a decision ever since the Oscars, and really not having a clue what to do, that recently made their ultimate call. Now, on top of all of that, this is where matters get even more serious. Now, with the whole drama getting worse surrounding Jada Pinkett Smith after unraveling new revelations in her book, Worthy, and getting mocked by SNL, and what SNL, of course, did, and she is about to do to acknowledge that on the Howard Stern show. One major development has to do with actor Will Smith, who, as it turns out, was indeed blacklisted from several major Hollywood studios that officially never want to work with him again. What may come as a surprise is that now Sony Pictures, who by the way is responsible for Bad Boys 4, who was also another studio that was on the fence of making a call ever since the slap situation at the Oscars, has now officially restricted Will from ever making a film with them again. And surprisingly, Will was in the talks to return to one specific role with Sony Pictures that just fell apart rapidly behind the scenes. Now, Sony was responsible for creating the famous Men in Black films, and that though Will's long history with them, he was set to return for a major film with Sony sometime in 2025 that was going to be another action comedy film, much like Men in Black. This was completely scrapped just after they made the call to restrict him for good, and at no surprise, this was due to the rise in criticism of the Smith family and how it is making the general public more opposed to seeing anything anymore with the Smith family on screen. Bad Boys 4 will be the last role for him apparently with Sony Pictures as we speak. Additionally, apart from Sony, both 20th Century Fox and Disney made the ultimate call to call off and restrict Will Smith from getting involved in any other major motion pictures, either for live action or animated material. And since Disney owns 20th Century Fox, in case you guys did not know that, they were responsible for ending all conversations with Will Smith for getting involved in a Spies in Disguise sequel movie, which first off was a 2019 animated film starring both Tom Holland and Will Smith. Now, with Smith now restricted from any involvement with 20th Century Fox and Disney, this also led to the cancellation of any further talks about a sequel to Spies in Disguise. Disney was yet another major studio that was on the fence of making an Aladdin sequel and making the drastic decision, and is why the Aladdin sequel never moved forward. Mainly for two factors. They didn't want to recast the genie, and two, they didn't want to recreate the animated sequel to Aladdin, since it was not well received many, many years ago. So guys, let me just say one thing about that. That is another reason why you are not getting an Aladdin 2. Even Mina Massoud came out, made it very clear that Aladdin 2 is seemingly not happening. And as it turns out, it was for those two reasons. It had a lot to do with the Will Smith drama and how they did not want to do a recast. And two, the second Aladdin movie, we're talking like well over 15 years ago, was not well received on video. Alright, if I recall correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, the sequel was a direct-to-video release. It never actually went into theaters. So, all projects, alright, for Smith getting involved with Nat Geo are also now cancelled and axed due to Disney owning Nat Geo. Each month, more and more Hollywood studios are blacklisting him, some of which already did this right after the Oscars last year of this slap situation, one of which involved Universal. The only film that Sony Pictures is latching onto right now with Will is Bad Boys 4, since it's already in production. After that, all bets are off for Will Smith with Sony. Will is also surprisingly trying to fight back against these Hollywood studios and their decisions for restricting him from getting more roles due to both the slap and the ongoing Jada Pinkett Smith drama due to her new book called Worthy. Also, the press from the skit by SNL is now not even helping in the least. And that's another thing, by the way, guys. SNL and their overall, writing team and everyone else involved really went all out with mocking and creating a parody of Jada Pinkett Smith and dropping Will Smith's name multiple times and referencing him. And that is something that is not making his position in Hollywood any easier. In fact, it's only growing the amount of people that are opposed to seeing a Will Smith movie or Jada Pinkett Smith in anything or hearing her on anything, whether it be a radio show or a talk show, right? So this is exactly why, and I'll make it very clear, I am not defending Will Smith in the least. I fully feel that he should have never stepped on stage. What he did was absolutely ridiculous and so unprofessional to the point where you really thought to yourself, like, was this scripted? When you first saw that, everyone thought that. Is this scripted? Is this a skit? And when you learned and really kind of got the knowledge of all the unraveling, facts there, and that it really was actually the fact that he went up on stage and did that, it just goes to show you that the Academy Awards, made the rightful decision to ban him from that, to banish him from ever going on that for a while, and that's exactly why. So there's a lot of things happening with the Smith family. It's not just about Jada Pinkett. Will Smith is also meeting a lot of ramifications, all because of Jada, not just because of the slap scenario at the Oscars. And those are the two big things that are getting in the way of his career. Now, if I were Will, I wouldn't really care too much about Hollywood at this point. I mean, he's probably got more than enough money to live on for a very, very long time and to kind of do whatever he wants to do in life and just move on, right? That's what both Chris Rock and Will Smith are trying to do. They're trying to move on. And again, I'm not defending Will. I'm just saying these guys are trying to just focus on themselves, detaching themselves from that drama, and Jada Pinkett Smith just keeps stirring it up with her new book Worthy and plans of new books in the future that's going to keep on pretty much, acknowledging the slap and more drama. So anyway, guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.